Hi there, it's Kevin
and Zach
with Gone Rogue Games / Rogue Deck Builder here with the patron Zach the Crack Addict Booster Pack Box, whatever you want to call it, opening. And for this month, we're doing a little bit early. Usually we try to do it towards the end of the month in case we get new patrons, but we're doing Ravnica Allegiance since we just got these in yesterday, and I just got back from having a baby. Well, I didn't have a baby.
You didn't? Are you sure?
Didn't have a baby. But everything's going well with the baby. Thanks for all the concerns for people that have reached out to me. My sister just had to have a C-section, kind of some complications. So we've been down there helping her. Anyway, we're back now, though, and here to do the Ravnica Allegiance pack opening. So let's just get started. I think we will fan through these, and we will see. We'll look at the commons for a while. I've already done 2 sealeds on MTGO. Or, sorry, no one even cares what MTGO is because that's a dead platform on Arena. And so far, I was actually surprised. I had a really busted Gruul deck and just got stomped on by Azorius with just these semi-par Azorius decks in sealed. And then the second time around, I also had an amazing Gruul pool, but I resisted the temptation. And so far, I think I'm 4-1 right now.
I guess it's going to be for Greg.
In the thing. So what I'm trying to say is if you're going to your sealed event, really look close at your Azorius pool. Even though you might not think it's good, the Azorius is pretty phenomenal with just the way that the 2/5 unblockable, the flash -4, -0, the bounce spell. It all works insanely well in this format. And Rakdos and Gruul and Orzhov look good until you start playing it and you realize 1/1 tokens are pretty terrible. And sometimes your big beefy creatures just get locked down or shut down. And I mean, we have a pacifism, basically a rest at common in Azorius. A bunch of other things just lock it down. So anyway, I highly suggest going to Azorius. Haven't played much Simic. I think Simic's pretty incomplete. Same with Orzhov. So anyway, let's get this to Greg now that I've rambled about the pre-release. Well, actually opens up some kits and I'll show you what I'd build with those kits. All right, so Greg, we have the Gravelhide Goblin. Pretty good little filler. It can get a +2/+2. Starts as a 2/1. Not bad in this format. 3/1's pretty terrible right now. There's a bunch of 1 damage spells. I would not play the Prowling Caracals. These are type of cards they're usually in almost every format. I wouldn't play this in this particular format. It's just a liability. A 2/5 Hexproof is good at blocking Gruul stuff. It's filler. +1/0 and First Strike is pretty bad. For a card, in my opinion. It's not as much damage you want out of a card. I do like the Boar a lot with Gruul. Have played this card. The Rakdos Trumpeteer, very good with the Menace and giving something for the outlet to get some damage in, but again, kind of lackluster. Open the Gates. Nice little fixer. The Carrion Imp, this is actually pretty good. There's a lot of flying in the format, and the 2-life is actually relevant versus like Rakdos. And also this artwork is causing a stink on the WPN with people saying that Wizards shouldn't have ran an ad with this because it's just not inviting.
What the heck?
If your kid saw this the first time, what would you think of Magic? Oh man, people are so whiny lately.
What about Success Kid over there? Oh, you opened
Success Kid. Summary's Judgment, very good with the 3 damage against a tap creature, good against Rakdos, good against a lot of the flyers that have 2 or 3 toughness. We have the Caretaker, nice little, we've seen this card before during Eldritch Moon, basically the same thing. These are pretty good cards about ramping, even though it has to tap another creature. The Galloping Lizrog, pretty good with the trample, being able to put counters back on this is a good finisher later on. The Syndicate Guildmage is actually one of the better guild mages with tapping a creature down and can actually dish off the damage. I actually like this one a lot. And the 10th Street Dodger, it's okay, little haster, but it just doesn't pack a punch of what you need in this format. The Repudiate to Replicate, pretty good card with 3 mana to just create a token that's a copy of a creature you control. Very well undercosted for a clone effect, as well as the counter activator trick ability is relevant. And Orzhov Guildgate. Anyway, so we'll get through these a little bit quicker. There's the Greg. We'll go to Gabriel. And wow, this pack did not want to split. And again, we'll just go through the Slimebind. This is the card that I'm talking about. This is insanely good in the format. Flash -4, -0. It's a combat trick and a lockdown, all in one. I mean, you can use it as removal. We have the Spike Wheel Acrobat. Well, what I'm trying to talk about with the Slimebind too is this becomes a format where you're like smacking each other, so everyone's being very aggressive, and this ends up baiting an opponent into attacking the creature and then basically making it so it doesn't deal damage, so you get in with an extra attack phase with it. Anyway, I hope that made sense. The Spike Wheel Acrobat is fine as a 5/2 with a way to under cost it. The Hazda Officer enters the battlefield. This is very good. A creature gets +1/+1, 3/2 for 3 mana. Very good in the Orzhov with the Afterlife to pump up, to consistently get your flyers a little bit bigger for a turn. Leaves back a 3/2 body. I actually like this card a lot. The Plague White becomes blocked. Each creature blocking it is -1/-1. It's okay. It's a good little... Again, 1 toughness is a liability in this format. Lots of 1 damage spells. 3/4 filler. Burn Bright. We've seen this effect before. It's pretty good if you can go wide with like a Mardu or a Rakdos. Grasping Throw. I was actually impressed with this card in this format. It doesn't look like that great, a 3/3 for 3 mana. Like, it's just strictly worse than the card that came out of the M19, the Vampire. 3/4 flyer, but I mean, in this format, a 3/3 flyer is pretty relevant. Does 2 damage when it comes to play. Pretty good card. The Eel 3/3 with Adapt 2 becomes a 5/5. Definitely decent little filler. The Debtor's Transport, a 5/3 with Afterlife 2. Again, nice little top end filler. Not that great though. Afterlife 2 is pretty good. Leaving back 2 1/1s. The Lockets, a Gateway Sneak, very good card. Pick these up. If you have a lot of gates, this is going to draw you a ton of cards. The Bloodmist Infiltrator, a 3/1. And you may sacrifice the creature, and it can't be blocked. I wish I had something else like Lifelink on top of it, but whatever. The Code of Constraint, another one that I like a lot with the -4, -0 to end a turn and draw a card. If you cast it in your main phase, you tap it down for an entire another turn. So these are the type of cards why I like Azorius so much, because it just constantly locks down what your opponent's doing. Azorius is the way to go in Sealed, in my opinion. All right, and we have Domri. So we start second pack off with a Mythic with the Domri, the Chaos Bringer. You add a green or a red. If the mana was spent on the creature, gains Riot. You can look at the top 4 cards of your library and put a creature among them in your hand for -3. And you can get an emblem by creating Beast. So we get the Domri right off the bat for Gabriel. Congratulations. We have Eric. All right, so now I'm going to go a little bit quicker through here, as we're 7 minutes into 2 packs here. All right, we've seen the Homunculus and the Gravehide, and the Scopathrough and Lifelink Vampire. 1 toughness is a liability in this format. 4/4 Riot. I like these Riot cards in Gruul, but again, Gruul looks good on paper until you actually start playing it, and you have Simic going over the top of it sometimes. Really good against Rakdos. I don't think I dropped a match against Rakdos. It was all Azorius. Every match I lost was against Azorius. Titanic Brawl, very good fight spell. Instant speed fight spell. Instant speed fight is amazing. And then for 2 mana, that's actually pretty good, and it can actually be undercost if you have something with ++1. The Growth Spiral, good card if you can make it work. That's more of a constructed card in my opinion. Exposed Daylight, not a lot of artifacts and enchantments you're too worried about. Azorius does have some lockdowns, but I don't know, kind of weird to mainboard it. Grotesque Demise is actually pretty good about slowing down Rakdos. You can also slow down Simic before they adapt. Adapt. Okay, Sphinx's Insight. Do like this card. Gives you the stability plus the draw 2 cards. I mean, it's kind of a divination type effect, but it can be an instant speed. I really like it. The Clamor Shaman with Riot. When it attacks, target creature and opponent controls can't block. Not a bad card. And Tower Defense. I mean, this is really just for the enchantment that allows creatures to do damage equal to their toughness. And we also have the Dinosaur from Ixalan. We also have the Arcades, the Strategist, that it'll work with. The Sky Tether, another great card for Azorius, because mainly most of your cards are flying creatures. So you're locking down a creature from attacking and blocking for 1 mana. It's like an undercosted pacifism. Glass of the Guild Pack, multicolored creatures ++1. Actually pretty good in limited because there's a lot of multicolored. And a foil Bankrupt in Blood. You have to sacrifice 2 creatures to draw 3 cards. I highly suggest being very, very weary, or leery, I don't know what the right word is. Weary, I guess they both work. Playing this card in a a limited environment, because of you never know if sacrificing creatures at sorcery speed is going to be good or not. Instant speed, I think, would be a lot better. Sorcery speed, that's a huge. I don't know. Maybe I guess with the Wars off. All right, Eric. We'll go on to Richard. Richard, we have a Savage Mash. I like fight effects in this effect. I think they're pretty good. Sorcery speed's not as good, but you can give a boost and fight and attack in exactly what a lot of your creatures in Gruul have trample. Good card to pick up. Another Lifelinker. This is another Rester's Admonition. Azorius has so many cards that tempo out or lock down. Just another one. Lifelink, pretty weak for a 1/1. Mammoth Spider's pretty good in this format. There's a lot of 4 power flyers. Azorius Locket. the Blade Brand, Death Touch, draw cards, removal. Pretty good for Rakdos, pretty good for Orzhov. Skewer the Critics, really, really good card. 3 damage spell for 3 mana, Spectacle becomes a Lightning Bolt. Growth Spiral again, Clear the Mind. Not that relevant. Angelic Exaltation is actually extremely good in the Azorius Flyers, as you're going to be putting up a defense and then you're attacking in with a beefy creature. So another great card. Sinks of New Prov, very, very good card limited because it's a mess to deal with. And the Knight of Last Breath. You can sacrifice another non-token creature to create a 1/1 black spirit creature and has Afterlife 3. 7 mana though, pretty rough. 3 mana activation, not a fan. And the Mass Manipulation, this is very, very rough and limited with 4. And then X, you're likely, but these type of effects, even for 6 mana, is not bad to gain control of something. All right, we have Pack Crack Fever, Efren. Go check out his channel if you like people cracking packs, doing a better job than Rambly Kevin. All right, so we have Efren, we have Quench, very good card in Constructed, not so much in Limited, especially with a board state that gets clogged up and then people are gonna be able to pay it. A 2/3 flyer is fine. This is actually a pretty good card for Gruul because you can block all those pesky Afterlife. The Impassioned Orator, not a bad card with the Orzhov because you'll be gaining some life off this. This is a 2/2 bear for 2, it's fine. The Carrion Imp, talked about it, pretty good. The Steeple Creeper, creature gains flying for 2, or it gains flying. It's okay. 4/2 for 3 mana with an upside is pretty good. The Burning Tree Vandal, it's a 2/1 with Riot, and when it attacks, it has the looting effect, discard a card to draw a card. The Justicar's Portal, exile a creature color, return to your battlefield with first strike. Pretty good removal combat trick. You attack into the creature. It basically is almost pseudo vigilance. If you have an ETB effect, which a lot of Orzhov do, it actually does that. So good card to pick up if you have cards that work with it. Get to the point is actually pretty good because this is a clunky, slow format at times, and destroying a creature and scrying one seems pretty good. The Catacomb Crocodile 3/7. I typically don't like these type of cards. The Trollblade Guardian. Do love this card. A 5/5 for 5 that gets into a 7/7 that also then gets trample. Not bad. Plus all your creatures already out have trample. A lot of them if they have the Riot effect or Simic. So I like how Simic and Gruul work off each other. The Combine Guildmage, not a bad Guildmage for moving counters and having creatures enter with counters. The Wilderness Reclamation, it's good in if you can use instant speed. I think this card will see standard play in the Nexus of Fate deck. It might just replace the other card. And we have the Zagana Utopia Speaker. So enters the battlefield. If you control another creature with a +1 counter on it, draw a card, and add up 4. Each creature you control with +1 counter is trample. So another one that gives trample. And a Final Payment foil. People thinking this will see play in Pauper. I disagree. There's tons of effects that do better in my opinion. All right, so we have Nicholas. All right, we're going to get through these packs now. I think we've seen enough of the uncommons, and so we'll just kind of fan through and skip to the uncommons and above. Clear the stage. -3/-3 effect. It's all right. You can return a creature from your grave at your hand if you control a creature power 4 or greater. We have the Gatebreaker Ram. Gets +1 from each gate, and if you control 2 or more, it gets trample. The Smelt Warden, or Smelt Ward Ignis, gain control of target creature with power 3, untap it, it gains haste, and activate only the sorcery. Is pretty good. This is actually a pretty good card in Limited. And the Breeding Pool. Nicholas gets a Breeding Pool. Michael! Alright, so we have the Vindictive Vampire. Whenever another creature you control dies, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. So a Blood Arts effect but for 4 mana. So they keep making these Blood Arts effects. You can pretty soon do a commander deck with all of it. Only works off yours though. But another way to enable infinite combos. The Sentinel's Mark. This is actually a pretty good card because it gives +1/+2 in Vigilance, which is actually very relevant in Azorius decks. And if you do cast it on your turn, you can give something lifelink for a turn. This card is actually pretty good in this environment. Death Touch Afterlife 1 for 2 mana for a 1/2. I think this is very standard playable. The Tide Taker, another very good card for taxes-based decks. During your turn, spells your opponents cost 1 more, and activate ability costs 1 to activate unless they're mana abilities, and has Afterlife 1 and the Azorius Guildgate. Sean. We got the Fairy Duelist. Well, I'll talk about this card really quick because I think it's very good. It might see play in Standard with the ability to flash it in 1/2, lock down a creature for a turn. Might not get there in that mono blue deck. We have the Screaming Shield. Equipped creature gets +0/+3 and has target player puts the top 3 cards of their library. I think if you get enough of these and plus enough blue cards, mill is viable in this format. There are a lot of 0/4 walls, things like that. Especially when you're drafting, don't count out mill. I think it's actually viable. The Windstorm Drake. Other creatures you control apply and get +1/+0. Pretty good in this format because that's all the Afterlife cards. And Azorius is going to snag up some of those Afterlife cards if they're even in white. You don't even have to splash black. But a lot of times Azorius is one of those color combinations that's pretty easy to splash another color. And so it works very well with Orzhov Afterlife. So very good card. Wall of Lost Thoughts. There's our little mill card, 0/4. Verity Circle, 3 mana. Whenever creature an opponent controls becomes tapped. If it isn't being declared as attacked, you can draw a card, and then you can tap a creature. So late game, you can start drawing a lot of cards. If this can shut down activated ability type decks, but it's kind of awkward for constructed. We have Logan. All right, so we got the Gate Colossus. Which is an 8/8 and costs 1 less for each gate. Can't be blocked with creature's power 2 or less, and whenever you play a gate, you can return this to the top of your library. We have the Collision to Colossus. Deals 6 damage to target creature flying. Flying is relevant in this. I like this card in the main because no matter what, it's useful. Target creature gets +4/+2 in trample, and you can kill a creature with flying, basically. Flames of Raise Boar, of the Raise Boar. Deals 4 damage to target creature opponent controls, then deals 2 damage to each other creature that player controls if you control a creature power 4 or greater. Pretty good little wipe against Orzhov. I don't know. That's really where I see it coming into play. It's going to miss a lot of other guilds. The Simic Ascendancy. Put a +1 counter on target creature, and when you have... when one or more +1 counters goes on a creature, you get a counter on this, and then when you have 20 or more, you win the game. We should just rip this up because I hate effects like this in Magic. I guess some people like alternate win conditions. I typically can't stand them. But that's me. I'm a grumpy, ornery old man. Zachary! We got the Gateway Sneak. Which, very good little Stealer Secrets type card. The Terramander, 1/1 flyer with Adept 8. Pretty rough Adept. I don't know if this is going to go in mono blue. I don't know if they like it over some of the other options. Blood Mist Infiltrator. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice. We've seen that one. And the Pestilent Spirit. The 3 mana Menace Death Touch. Instant sorcery spells you control of Death Touch. People are talking about how this card is pretty good in like a Rakdos deck with bolt type effects. It basically kills everything. Your little shocks kill everything at that point. We'll have to wait and see if it does see play. The Menace is very relevant for a red deck too. Death Touch too. I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good. We got May. All right, so we got the Skateway Spy with the Adept 2. Each creature has flying with an Adept, so it's pretty good to give itself Adept. Becomes a 4/5. Not a bad investment. 6 mana is pretty hard to get this up to it. The Azorius Skyguard with flying for a strike and creature component control at -1/-0. The Resolute Warhound that can sacrifice to give something indestructible. And the Immolation Shaman. Whenever an opponent activates his ability in an artifact, creature, or land and isn't a mana ability, why don't they put Planeswalkers on these? I wish they'd put Planeswalkers. It'd make them playable. 1/3, and then it has a pump effect to give it +3/+3 and Menace for 5. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. 1/3 though. Why not a 3/1? I know it died. I don't know. I don't know, Zach. I don't know.
That's because
missed opportunity, in my opinion. I mean, I don't want mono red to get better. It's already so broken as is. But
you can pay 5 and get.
I know. I talk. As I said, but it's awkward.
Yeah.
Kevin, open the pack for Kevin. All right, we have the Gruul Beastmaster with Riot 2/2, and then it gets to give a creature another creature plus X+0X its power. Good thing to buff up, then attack, and then give something else, especially when it trample. Another Lizrog, another Azorius Skyguard. Emergency powers. This is where you shuffle your hand. Each player shuffles their graveyard hand into their library, then draw 7 cards. If you cast it during your turn, you can play. If you cast the spell during your main phase, you may put a permanent card with confirmed mana cost 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. So you can put your dumb Planeswalker, your Teferi, into play. Or you could actually put that big dragon into play too. All right, Tim. Need some background music or something. It's so quiet in here. All right, so we have the Gate Colossus again. We have the Rhythm of the Wild. Creature spells you control cannot be countered. Thank God for effects like this. And non-token creatures have Riot. Kind of a weird off curve. I would have preferred this to be, I don't know, maybe the Riot would make it overpowered. But basically it's saying your creatures have haste or +1/+1, which is relevant in different scenarios. But then creature spells can't be countered is pretty good. Another Bloodmark Infiltrator, and the End Rays Forerunners, a whopping 8 mana for 7/7 with Vigilance, Trample, Haste. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance, Trample until end of turn. So here is your Elf Ball finisher right here. Elf Ball might be a thing again, or just tokens like Saprolings. I think this is pretty good with Saprolings too. They ramp out pretty quick, so I think it will see play. So this, okay. We have the other Kevin. All right, so we have the Depose and Deploy, another amazing little lockdown for Azorius with tapping a creature, drawing a card, or creating 2 Thopters, relevant in almost every scenario in Limited. We have the Vindictive Vampire. We have Gates Ablaze. X damage to each creature where X is the gates you control. Very, very hard to enable this. Awaken the Erstwhile. Each player discards all the cards in their hand and then creates that many 2/2 zombies. I'll play it in Noth. It's pretty bad in a 2-player game. We got Frank. You don't have to be a patron to still get the tiers. Frank opted out of Patreon, and we set up a recurring payment. If anyone's interested in not joining Patreon to get these perks, you can do so through just a recurring payment plan on PayPal. All right, so let's go to the Sky Tether. Gets Defender and loses flying. The Spire Mangler, Flash Flying. When it enters the battlefield, target creature with flying you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Nice little curve card. Thrash to Threat. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Oh, I missed an uncommon here. It was an Orzhov Racketeer. Deals combat damage to player. The player discards a card, Afterlife 2. The Thrash is you get to have a pseudo fight effect. It doesn't fight back. You deal damage. Instant speed 2. Pretty good card. And then the threat is a 4/4 red and green beast token. So this is actually pretty relevant in a lot of these Gruul type decks, or even mono green with the threat. And then if you have some way just to splash red, you can always create a 4/4. So this is like one of these cards are trying to make it so you can main board these type of cards. Best of 1 type formats. And we have the Impassioned Orator. The Soul Sister in foil version. That is Frank. Cal. We have the Basilica Bellhaunt. This is probably the only creature that I'm going to run. I might run another creature. I can't remember what it is at the moment. In my Orzhov control deck. Just because it enters the battlefield, an opponent discards a card and you gain 3 life. I think it's doing exactly what this format wants to do right now with an Orzhov control. And it's not that bad against other control decks or mid-range decks because they're getting rid of a relevant card, just giving you card advantage, and it's something they still have to kill. Really love this card. It's my favorite one out of that kind of this time around. All right, so Rally to Battle. Creatures get +1/+3 until end turn. Untap them. The Cry of the Carnarium. All creatures get -2 and 2, and you exile grave creatures that were put there this turn. So very, very good card. This is going to help Standard out a lot with many problems with both Mono White and the Arclight, or not Arclight Phoenix. Yeah, Arclight Phoenix. The Amplifier. 4 mana. The beginning of your upkeep, reveal the cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card until your next turn. Amplifier's base power and toughness is twice that card's power and base toughness. Put the reveal cards on the bottom. So that's kind of nutty if you have some big cards, but I mean it's tough to pay it off. All right, Alec. We have the Rakdos Firewheel. Enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to an opponent and 2 damage to a creature or planeswalker they control, and leaves back and forth through your body. Not bad to put like a pseudo Searing Blaze type effect on a card with a 4/3 body. Eyes Everywhere. This is a pretty cool limited one because it lets you scry early, and then for 6 mana you can exchange it with something else. The Swirling Torrent. 6 mana, put target creature on top of its owner's library or return target creature's owner's hand. Pretty good. I wish I had instant speed here, but again, pretty good for the Azorius. It's at your turn 6 when you're looking for a huge play. 2 creatures gone. The Guardian Project. The 4 mana, this is actually pretty good as well in Limited. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card. I think Commander players are going to love this because that's going to be everything at that point. And got some gates and spirit tokens. Andrew. We have the Sunder Shaman. This can't be blocked by more than one creature, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you destroy an artifact or enchantment that player controls. Great commander card. The Cult of the Guild Mage, discarding cards and doing 1 damage to an opponent or planeswalker. All the Guild Mages I think are pretty lackluster this time around. The Junk Troller, put a card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Combos with Grenzo. And Hallowed Fountain. So we got that's only our second Shockland so far from this box. We have Anthony. Tony. Oh wow, come on, open pack. All right, so we have the Shark Toe Crab. And now our camera does not want to focus. It wants to focus my thumb. The Shark Toe Crab. 4/4. Adapt 1. Whenever one or more +1 counters are put on it, you can tap a creature and it doesn't untap. Good tempo card. Dagger Caster. Enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to each opponent and 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Very good anti-Orzhov card. Spirit of the Spires. 2/4. Other creatures with flying get +0/+1. Very good about stopping cards like this to take out your little afterlife creatures. And the Precognitive Perception. Draw 3 cards. If you cast this during your main phase, instead scry 3, then draw 3. Instant speed. Interesting little rare. Austin. Okay, we got the Clear the Stage. We've seen the Clear the Stage. Sphinx of New Prov. Sphinx of the Guild Pact. It's all colors and hexproof and monocolored. And the Prime Speaker Vanifair. Woo! We got Pot on a Stick. One of the most highly anticipated cards from this set. So sacrifice other creatures at your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. Put that card on the battlefield and shuffle your library. Activate this only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So there we go. We have the most expensive mythic, I believe, in the set right now with the Prime Speaker Vanifair.
Yep.
Brandon. The Zertog Goblin, Riot, 2/2. Archway Angel, enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each gate you control. The Collision to Colossus, the Theater of Hoarder. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library, and during your turn, if your opponent lost life, you can play cards exiled. So it doesn't matter, they don't go away after 1 turn. I actually really like this card. Plus, it's got a renewable 4 mana damage. Orzhov, I think this is the card that's going to make like the Azorius controls go into Esper for Mortify. I don't know, that's just my 2 cents. Because I think this is just a nightmare for control decks in a Rakdos type shell. Or even like a attrition based deck. Like if you go into the Planeswalker, what's that Pirate Planeswalker, the one that makes you discard cards, your opponent's discard cards and takes control of stuff. Really good. I like the Theater of Horrors a lot. That is Brandon. We got Brenton. We have the Rhythm of the Wild. We've seen this one. The Terramander, the Knight of Last Breath. We've seen that one as well. And the Growth Chamber Guardian. This is the one that can go grab other Growth Chamber Guardians when 1 or more counters placed on it. So it's a very good card for Elf Ball to get you even more stuff. We have 2 of these type effects in Elf Ball. So, I mean, they're pseudo draw spells. And we have a foil Stony Strength. Talking about a card that goes with an Elf Ball creature. This goes with Marwyn, by untapping and giving Marwyn +1/+1 to then tap again. So I don't know if that's going to be that relevant, but with cards like this in Marwyn, you might see like a Stony Strength type ability. Well, I'm sure Zach will revive it now that he's got an untap ability.
Yeah,
that one works pretty good. Oh, and then this card too. This card actually works really good with them.
I'll try it out.
Zach, we'll try it out. You heard it here first. We're brewing decks while we're opening boxes. We have Brian. We have the Orzhov Racketeers. The High Alerts. This is the where they are dealing damage equal to their defense rather than power. Toughness rather than power. You're going to tap a creature. Regenesis, instant speed, return 2 target permanents from your graveyard to your hand. I like this card a lot for green. It's a nice little draw spell. And another Repudiate to Replicate. Hayden. Okay, so we have the Clamor Shaman. Frilled Mystic. This one's awesome. I like this in a tempo base shell. Too bad it's not a merfolk though. When it enters the battlefield, you can counter target spell. It is a wizard though. Could go into like a wizard base tribal. Another +0/+1 to all flyers, and the Warrant to Warden, which puts a attacking or blocking creature back on top of its library for 2 mana, or create a Sphinx 4/4 with flying for 4 mana. So in Azorius type build, this can be both your finisher and still another control card. So I kind of like that little aspect with it. They're going to be bringing block constructed to Arena, and I think that really looks good with Azorius to build it. That type of card just being the only win con in it. We got David Jones. How are you, David? David was a local here. It moved away. We miss you, David. You get the Hackrobat. Hackrobat gains Death Touch for 1 and +2/-2, and it's got the Spectacle. Gruul Beastmaster, the Gates Ablaze, and the Lumbering Battlement. Vigilance when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield, and it gets +2/+2 for each exiled creature. I guess in a token base shell can get huge if you want to kill your tokens. But yeah. There is David. Christian. Everyone, play Allegiance is your code.
Ooh.
All right, so we have the High Alerts, another High Alert. We have the Biogenic Upgrade. We have the Carnival to Carnage. Deals 1 damage to our creature, player, or planeswalker, and 1 damage to that permanent's controller, and deals 3 damage to target opponent. That player discards 2 cards. And we have the Priest of the Forgotten Gods. You can sacrifice 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life and sack a creature. You add 2 mana to your mana pool and draw a card. And the thing is, they have to be 2 other creatures. I wish it just said 2 creatures. It's going to be a little rough to make. Black-white tokens maybe so. But it's a pretty relevant ability, especially with cards like Nimbuzet running around. Alex! Okay, we got the Solana Wayfinder. Not really a fan of this card because it just puts it back on top of your library rather than puts it in your hand, but whatever, it'd be broken. They'd have to make it 3 mana or 4 mana. Essence Capture, I think this will 100% go in the mono blue tempo deck. It's actually one of the reasons to still play it. It's exactly what it wants. Turns a 1/1 into a 2/2. A 2/2 is much better clocked than a 1/1, especially on turn 2. You just upgrade your turn 1, stop your opponent from doing anything. I like this card. The Combine Guildmage, also Merfolk, it doesn't look bad with Adamas Climb. The Combine Guildmage, you can move counters, we've seen it. The Rixmati Reveler, this has Spectacle of 4, so it's a higher Spectacle cost. When it enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw a card. If the Spectacle cost was paid instead, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. So it's a wannabe Bedlam Reveler. The 2/2 body is kind of awkward, no prowess on it, but Spectacle is 4. I don't know. Could see play, for sure. Just the 2 mana for drawing card, discard a card will be good in like mono. Like mono red is not bad just because it helps you with the land flood. All right, we got Will. Okay, we have the Senate Guildmage, the Macabre Mockery. You can put a creature from your opponent's graveyard on the battlefield. It gets +2/+2 and gains haste. This is like, you want this in one of those like Eldrazi type ones where you really get some. But I guess there's some big creatures at the moment in people's graveyards, but not a lot at the moment. There's no reanimation type strategy that this could be a counter reanimation spell. Drillbit. People like this card because it's a wannabe Thoughtseize, sort of ish on turn 2. The Skargan Hellkite, Mythic Riot Flying, another card that it doesn't feel mythic to me. In fact, I have a dragon deck, don't want it in my dragon deck. It can be a 4/4 with haste or a 5/5 with flying. Deals 2 damage, divide as you choose among 1 or 2 targets for 4 mana, and you can only activate it if it is a 5/5, if it has that counter on it. So to me, it just doesn't feel good enough for a mythic. A lot of those were very underwhelming. So there's Will. We have Travis. Eyes Everywhere, the Bullock Clan Crusher, the Essence Capture, and the Gruul Spellbreaker, one of the better cards in this set for hosing counters, or hosing control decks. Riot, Trample, as long as it's your turn, you and Gruul Spellbreaker have Hexproof. Not a bad card. We got Yuri as I throw cards. Jeez, look at me go. Okay, we have the Frilled Mystic, the Carnival to Carnage, the Irresolute Watchdog, and the Revival to Revenge. So you can return a creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or you can double your life total and an opponent loses half their life. So not bad for a nice little tempo shell, for like a good fast, like black-white tokens and or black-white knights and vampires. It seems pretty good just for the Revival. You're reducing a mana by 1 on a creature. We have the Bazaar Coach. That's how his name came out. Coach from the Card Bazaar. We have the Light Up the Stage. I actually like this card a lot if like other cards didn't exist right now, that just like the Experimental Frenzy and now I can't even think of the other card, the Risk Factor. But Light Up the Stage I think is pretty good. Mono red decks after rotation will probably want to use any number of these. I guess those two stick around as well. The Gyre Engineer tapped at 2 mana. That's pretty good. Going to Animar for sure. The Macabre Mockery. And we have all the Planeswalkers now. We got no, we didn't have Dovin.
Yeah,
we have Kaya, Orzhov, Usurper, but I believe that's 4 mythics out of this box.
That's not
and
bad.
A Grotesque Demise. Kaya, I actually like this. A lot of people aren't liking this card. I think this is a good card in Orzhov control. You exile up to one target, or exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life for if at least one of those are creatures. You can exile target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less. And when it gets up to -5, you deal damage to target player equal number of cards that player owns in exile, and you gain that much life. So I think it's actually pretty good for a 3 mana Planeswalker. Like it feels very underwhelming, but if you follow it up with like a board wipe, it's not bad.
The emblem
we get the emblem. We get the emblem with Antifa Domri, the rioter. Finally, Wizards is catering to its demographic.
That actually looks like a
angry
man.
preteens.
It looks like a man in that picture.
Angry preteens.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we go to Mortify. Oh, this is for Sai. We're not even getting into it. Mortify, Fireblade Artist, the Flames of the Raise Boar, the Cindervines. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, deals 1 damage to that player. Another way to hose those type of do-nothing draw decks. And you can sacrifice to destroy an artifact enchantment and deal 2 damage to that permanent's controller. And a foil Gruul Beastmaster. Alright, Spencer. We get the Minister of Obligation, the Pitiless Pontiff, the Tower Defense, and Lavina, Azorius Renegade, which each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with current mana cost greater than the number of lands that player controls, so no ramping. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So, I don't know, I like it for modern, kind of hose some decks, as an option for humans. Sloppy Steven gets a sloppily open pack.
Have you seen a foiled rare yet?
No, I've not seen a foil rare or foiled mythic yet, so it's still coming up in this box, right?
Hopefully.
Unless they got... maybe there was one. I don't know. I can't remember one, though, if we do. We have the Orzhov Enforcer, the Biogenic Upgrade, the Rumbling Ruin, and the Rampage of the Clans. Very good commander card. Destroy artifacts and enchantments. For each permanent destroy this way, its controller gets a 3/3. Centaur. This could end up killing you in a commander if you don't have a way to deal with those 3/3s with a bunch of pissed off opponents.
Yep.
That was that Steven? Okay, this one's Alfred. We're going to have to crack a new box after... Well, we got one more pack after this, and the other box will be cracked. We have the Bankrupt the Blood. We have the Enraged Ceratox, the Spire Mingler, and the Benthic Biomancer. Add up to 1 for a 1/1, and when one or more counters are placed on it, you draw a card, then discard a card. So it's a 1/1 that can become a 2/2 quite easily and have this little looting effect. Not bad, not bad. It's also a wizard, which is relevant. Also Merfolk, which is relevant.
It's not bad.
Chicane. We have the last pack, which should have a foil rare in it.
Hopefully.
Otherwise, it probably got shifted. We did get 4 mythics, though, so I can't really complain about this box. Two Shocklands, 4 mythics. Not bad. The Hacrobat, the Scrabbling Claws, the Sky Tether, the Blood Crypt, and it was not a foil rare. It was a foil uncommon of Incubation into Incongruity. Blood Crypt, not a bad one. All right, so this other box, we got a few more to go. So appreciate all the patrons. I think we have 57 this month. So we've dropped a bunch of patrons. Most of it's just due to the drama surrounding Patreon. A lot of people reached out to me saying they are not supporting Patreon anymore, and I was just collateral damage due to that. Unfortunately, so we got Seamus. which has the Sharkdo Crab, the Spire Mingler, the Carnival of Carnage, and the Pestilence Spirits. We've seen all of those. Should have seen most of these now. This will be a new box, so things could easily have got shifted. Donald. Okay, the Galloping Lizrog, Gorzov Racketeers, the Macabre Mockery, Judith, the Scourge Diva. I believe this is one of the most expensive rares right now. Other creatures get +1/+0, and then when a non-token creature you control dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Give this Judith Death Touch. Very good card. Second most played commander at the moment, next to Teysa. One of the reasons that I'll show you real quick.
Electromancy is $8.
I kind of spec'd into these ones right here, the Smothering Abominations, just because it works with 2. I got these for cheap as cheap gets, too. Bulk price for these Smothering Abominations. And got these foil Smothering Abominations for 99 cents a piece. So those are kind of my little spec for cards I think are going to go up. Again, Smothering Abomination is going to take a few more sets. Battle for Zendikar is still pretty recent, and it was one of the most open sets, but foil rare is still, these things I think are going to go up because it works with both Teysa and Judith. So I'll get back to making Market Monday videos and Rogue Market videos. Again, I've been super, super busy with life. All right, so we have Seth. And let's get the good stuff. Enraged Ceratox, the Smeltwarden Ignis, the Swirling Torrent, and there we go. There's your rare. You said the Electro Dominance, which deals X damage to any target. You may cast a card with current mana cost extra less. So it's exactly what like these the go bigger red decks want to do. Like do what 4 damage or 6 mana, do 4 damage to a creature, and then put a card out.
Awesome.
Not bad at all. Or cast another spell that does even more damage.
Exactly.
So it's got a pseudo cascade type effect. It's not drawing a card, it's not card advantage, but it's still ramping you. Darren. We have the Trollbed Guardian, the Basilica Bell Haunt. Love this card. The Tower Defense, the Ravager Worm, another mythic. Ooh. Riot enters battlefield. You choose one. It fights a creature, or you destroy a land with an activated ability. So goodbye. The Search for Azcanthus when they're flipped.
Sweet.
We got Alan. Vindictive Vampire, the Regenesis, Spirit of the Spires, and Bedevil, destroying your artifact creature Planeswalker. Woohoo! More ways to kill Teferi.
$100 foil right now.
$100 foil?
On TCG
I guess
Player.
it might see play. Would they play it in Jund over Maelstrom Pulse though?
I don't know.
Like I just think Maelstrom Pulse is even more versatile. I guess that's instant speed.
I think there's just not that many on TCG Player right now.
Yeah. I'm sure they expect like Mardu. I guess Mardu Pyromancer might go in for sure. But usually Mardu Pyromancer wants to keep his low to the ground with their converted mana cost. Yeah. I don't know.
And
we'll
it's versatile and it's instant speed.
Yeah, that's true. Instant speed is big, especially in Modern. We have another Vindictive Vampire. They're very vindictive today. The Sunder Shaman, the Spire Mingler, and another Thrash to Threat, and a Storm Strike. Still no foil rarity in this box. So
who was that for? That was for
Earl. Hey, Earl, that was for you. As I'm trying to speed up here because, man, we're long in this video. Usually have Zach and me doing it. We probably should have again it because it goes quicker.
Okay.
Gate Colossus, the Cavalcade of Calamity, the Forbidden Spirit, and the Cindervines. In fact, Zach's going to open the rest of these.
Wow, I guess you've seen them all. Well, Cody, let me get this all set up for Kevin. I'll just try to go quick. We'll try to keep everything on camera. We only got a few more left. So to start off, we'll go through the uncommons, and I'll just go straight to some of the rares. But oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, the creatures get +1/+1. That's going to work with what's her name that everybody plays with in white. Can't really remember now. Now that Kevin threw me into this, I was just sorting cards and doing stuff. So we've got a Stomping Grounds. Look at that, Corey. Corley? Is it Corley?
Yep.
All right. I wanted to say Corey right off there, but it's all good. All right, Chris B. Let's go through these ones way quick. All right. Anything cool? So you're gonna play? Ooh, a Domri. We got another Domri. Look at that.
2 Domris.
2 Domris. So I think I'm just gonna end up playing a bunch of Azorius Champs because we had no one sign up in this area for Azorius.
Log blade Azorius just because it's broken.
Is it broken?
Yes.
I'm gonna open a Rakdos one. I did on camera. Ooh, we got some horrors. There you go, Chance. Still no foiled rares, huh? Well, Jordan, let's see if we can get it from this pack. I know I haven't even seen much of this set. I've been busy doing other things. I'm gonna have some actual videos up one of these days. But look at that. We got another shaman. We've seen him before. Talked about him before. I don't know. I think he's kind of cool. Do you think we'll see any play mono red?
Yeah, it's just the loot effect's fine for 2 mana.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. All right. And, ooh. Oh, no, I thought it was a foiled rare, but we got the new ooze. Have you seen this one yet? When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 ooze token. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each ooze token you control, and then you can create one. Why didn't they just do Saprolings?
Why didn't they make it a legendary so you make this commander?
Yeah, that would be way cool.
Well, I know they'd want you to play multiple of these.
Chad, yeah, it can get pretty broken. It'll have to be like the Nephilims. We'll just have to say they're legendary. And a Teysa. Are you going to play her? Is she going to go in a Teysa deck? She's kind of cool.
I don't know. She could go in my Teysa commander deck, but I highly doubt I'll use that as.
Actually,
it's pretty good in Vabler. I'm just kind of tired of that type of
build.
Yeah, that deck. I've built so many decks that kind of work around that.
Yeah, a lot of your commander decks are kind of similar.
Yeah, they're all based on sacrificing.
Ooh, cool. I know. You happy Food Chain's getting reprinted?
The Judge Foil?
I know. Why don't we get Judge Foils? We're technically judges, right? Oh, well.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
We are. We have
and to I want to make this card work. I think it's fun. I just need to pay live. I guess you can pay live. It's pretty easy
it's good
to
going
make it
back
work.
for sure. I just didn't see enough in this format.
That's true. That is true. All right. Oh, 2 pro. Oh, look at that. You can't cast non-creature spells. I think this card is fun.
It's legendary,
I think
too.
it's way... Oh, it is legendary. That is way cool.
This card should act like Animar in Commander.
That's way cool.
You're going to be able to, like, ramp out Eldrazi
Our camera doesn't want to focus today. Yeah. Would you also put... Oh, what's his name that deals 6 damage that I can't think of right now?
Thar, you might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
You know. Or put him with Druid Thar.
I don't know if you want it, though.
Yeah. And James is the last one. Oh my goodness. I think we finally got a foiled rare the last pack. Yes, we did. Look at that. That hollow founted foiled, and then you just gain control of a bunch of creatures.
That's kind of pretty.
That is way pretty. I like the foils on this one.
Where's the fountain, though?
There isn't a fountain. There's 2. See, this is water, I guess.
That's a fountain?
I guess. I don't know. Beats me.
That beats me, too.
Whatever. There's a flying Thopter in there, though. The camera does not want to focus today.
How Thopter, huh?
Yep, I guess. Well, there you go, guys.
Well, that's what we have this time around. Sorry for the lack of energy. Like I said, I've been gone out of town for the past week and just barely got back in town. Thought we better get this going. Always going to perfect that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you are interested in becoming a patron or not a patron, if you're just interested in the tier rewards, you can always sign up at Patreon, or we can set aside some sort of recurring payment. You can get all the same benefits. We offer a variety of services for our tier benefits. Our most popular one by far is getting distributor pricing on products at different tiers. You can get a certain amount of booster boxes, fat packs, I guess they're called bundles now, board games, sleeves, basically any playmats, card accessories, all at the same cost as it would be if you owned your own local game store. So if you don't own a local game store, become part of ours. Become a shareholder, I guess, of ours by signing up, and we'll be glad to serve you. Anyway, this has been Kevin.
Zach.
With Rogue Deck Builder / Gunner Games. Thanks for watching.